po. I am Angelica Giselle E. Magbalot, the leader of Group 5, and today will be a full of learnings because we will be the reporter for this day and we prepare an instructional materials for our discussion. So this is our PowerPoint presentation, ang aming slides po, and we are the Group 5 and we will be the reporters for this day. So sa ating buhay po, kailangan nating iplano yung mga bagay-bagay na gagawin natin. 'Di ba? Gaya sa ating daily routine, hindi pwedeng magsipilyo ka muna bago ka kumain or magsapatos ka then maliligo ka. The core benefits of being organized and operating in a generally lead us to better thinking. Decision making and problem solving rely on a clear head plus ready access to the right information and tools. Gaya na lamang sa pagsosolve ng equation, we will use the formula PEMDAS. Hindi pwedeng isusubtract muna bago ang multiplication. Kaya tinawag na PEMDAS dahil uunahin ang mga nasa parentheses, may exponents, multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. Dapat organized, dapat maayos, at ngayon, aalamin po natin how to organize instructional content that will help us and to be the key to open the various professions like being a teacher. And these are the lesson objectives of our topic or will be the ground which is or will be the ground of our topic, which is the organizing instructional content. So at the end of this topic, the student like you should be able to first define and explain the organizational instructional content. Aalamin natin kung ano nga ba ang organizational content. Second one is to demonstrate the content that is teacher-directed and student-directed and also the principles of curriculum design. And the last but not least is to formulate lesson planning in multi-grade context. Ano nga ba ang lesson planning? Ano nga ba ang binubuo nito at ano ang epekto nito sa atin at lahat ng po yan ay himay-himayin natin. We also have a vocabulary wherein these are the words that are not mostly familiar to us at magagamit natin ito as we go through to our topic or topics. So organizing instructional content, it introduces the big picture or system view first and then to delve into the parts of the system. It allows students to clearly see how the main concepts are related. Gaya ng isang kanta, hindi po yan basta-basta nagagawa or na-produce. Kailangan mo na magkaroon ng lyrics together with the meaning of that lyrics. Kailangan ng tono, kailangan ng notes, ng chords, and etc. para matawag itong isang ganap na kanta. That's why if you want to organize content sequentially, there are different ways. Step by step to present information to students so they can maximize their learning. When you order content in a way that makes sense to learners, it facilitates the learning process. By organizing instructional content, it provides a framework for having or for navigating information. It also helps people and students to create an internal mental framework, a more organized network of knowledge that can provide meaning and help with quick retrieval. So, gaya na lamang ng isang architect, they are an important part of website design or even sa paggawa ng isang bahay. Hindi lang po si engineer ang dito, hindi lamang po ang mga construction worker, but also the architect. They are the one who give the vision to guide through the entire design and construction process. Although we may call it in a different name, it is also an important concept in learning design. So, assuming that you've sufficiently wrapped your mind around the content. Use the list on our slide to find the most effective strategy for organizing it. Sticking to one high-level strategy will help streamline the design process, and it helps learners and users understand the larger framework of a course, website, or even the document. Pwede po natin itong gamitin para mas ma-enhance, mas mag-grow, and mas maging maayos yung pag-organize ng instructional content. Again, when we say instructional content, it can be delivered in a variety of ways, gaya na lamang yung traditional textbooks, lectures, activities, the PowerPoint presentations, the educational video games, and etc. So that is essentially anything developed specifically for the purpose of teaching. So number 1 is alphabetical. So when we say alphabetical, it is a conventional but important organizing principle. For content is the number 1, which is the alphabetical order. So because most people learn how to use alphabetical order in childhood, it's nearly intuitive. Ito po yung kadalasang gamit natin mula bata tayo, mula noong tayo ay nag-aral. So alphabetical order allows for quick and easy access to information. Example, it helps in documentation, for the glossaries, and even sa sitting arrangement po. Nauna po yung may apelyido na A, down to B, down to C, and down to letter Z. And even sa reporting po minsan. So, alphabetical ay nagkakaroon po tayo ng mabilisan at madali ang access since na-encode na din ito sa list. So, another example are the options. For our aims or even sa quiz, hindi pwedeng B, D, A, C, dapat in a form of A, B, C, D ang options. And number 2 is, or the second one is the categorical. So, some content has a flat structure. At para sa akin, kapag hindi naka-categorical, ang gulo at mas matagal ang trabaho kapag hindi ito naka-categorical. For example, hinahanap mo yung BEd document, pero nakahalo siya sa HRS or BSCS or sa pang high school. There are no hierarchy, no sequence, and all of the topics are more or less at same level of difficulty with no prerequisites. In this case, you can organize the content by category in a non-linear content. For example, content can be organized by task. For example, is teaching all of the editing functions in a Word, or by products. For example, the information about cell phones with high-end cameras. Another example is a course for teachers presenting the rules for various children's games might be organized by games for preschoolers, games for early elementary years, and games for older children. So, another example pa po ay yung alam nyo po yung document ng alalagyan na ng mga documents. May mga sign, age, or name level siya para doon mismo ilalagay yung mga naka-level or yung mga nile-level na category na yon, na mga naka-level na category sa mga iyon. So, this second one, which is the categorical, it provides straightforward results. Malalaman agad yung mga result, and it will run smoothly. Then the next is the cause and effect. So organizing content by cause and effect can be effective when used for the right purpose. When the content presents problems and solutions, then the cause and effect structure is appropriate. It is also valuable life skill because this is how we learn to understand the consequences of our actions. For our number 4 is the inherent structure. So to make it short po, Ito po ay tinatawag na chronologically order. It often content has its own structure that is cognitively natural to the subject. So if the content presents events in a timeline, then a chronological order is self-evident. Gaya na lamang sa topic na noun, syempre, bago ka mag-proceed sa kind nito, una, aalamin mo na what does noun mean, wherein noun refers to the name of people, person, things, events, and etc. Then, you can proceed now to its kinds like proper noun, common noun, count noun, mass noun, and etc. Then, dadako ka na sa pagka-classify nito. Our number 5 is the order of importance. So, lahat ng bagay ay may kahalagahan. When we're working with a flat structure with no inherent hierarchy, you may be wondering how to organize the instructional content. So, in this case po, consider using the order of importance. Number 6 is simple to complex. So, simple to complex is an approach that exposes the learners into a wide variety of concepts, topics, and also disciplines until they mastered it by studying it over and over again but with different deepening of complexity. Our number 7 is sequential. So when you're presenting a process or procedure, it often most effective to structure the instructional content as a series of steps. Number 8 is the spiral. So it is simple to complex, but spiral approach might be difficult to implement in a single course, but it is certainly appropriate for a curriculum. And for our number 9 is the subordinate to higher level or the hierarchical. So when the content requires that a learner master subordinate skills or knowledge to advance to a higher level skill, a hierarchical structure is effective. Dito po papasok yung hats or the higher order thinking skills. This is one of the most well-used structures for courses because much of what students learn is based on a prerequisite knowledge and skills. And for the last one is the whole two parts. So, an excellent approach to organizing instructional content is to introduce the big picture or the system view first and then to delve into the parts of the system. Providing the big pictures helps adult learners make sense of information. And those are the 10 ways to organize instructional content in order to form a logical instructional content. Ngayon po ay nasa first topic na tayo, which is the selecting content that is teacher-directed and student-directed. So, to make it clear po, when we say teacher-directed learning, it is a learning where the focus is exclusively on the teacher. This can look like teacher reading a story, asking the questions, or asking the students to repeat after them, or giving them directions. Ikaw po as a teacher, yung laging nagsasalita at tinuturo yung mga information para sa learnings ng mga bata. Ang pros o advantage po nito ay it is helpful in maintaining a focused classroom and encourages students to help or to develop listening skills. At ang disadvantages naman nito ay hindi niya naiikutan yung mga word, yung iniikutan yung word na collaboration at nagiging dahilan po ito ng pagbaba ng engagement ng mga students na mag-aral kasi hindi na ilalabas yung mga meron sila. That the teacher is the center of knowledge and in charge of learning. Kapag wala si teacher, ay walang information o learning sa buhay natin. Ika nga, experience is the best teacher. Walang engineer kung wala si teacher, walang nurse kung wala si teacher, walang seaman, walang police, walang abogado at iba pa kapag wala si teacher. We, as the students, are usually passively receiving information and instructor's role is to be the primary giver and primary evaluator. Educators know the difference between the right and wrong. Teachers make content, skills, and concepts. The teachers play a central role in identifying, monitoring, and reinforcing student behavior. Sa una po muna tayo. So, understanding expertise is important because it provides an insight into the nature of thinking and problem solving. Expert knowledge means bihasa ka na sa field na iyon, and research shows that it is not simply general abilities such as memory or intelligence, nor the use of general strategies that differentiate expert from the beginner. So, kaya pansin nyo po sa mga resource speaker gaya ni Sir Deo, sa certificate na binibigay ay sinasabi doon na expertise at isa ito sa benefit ng teacher-directed. Pangalawa po ay ang planning and execution, which is part na ito sa buhay ng isang teacher. Gumagawa sila ng lesson plan, and planning lessons ahead of time means teacher enter the classroom each day fully prepared to teach new concepts and lead meaningful discussions instead of figure out things out as they go. So without a lesson plan, students can quickly lose focus, and teachers may be left scrambling, thinking of what to do next. And for the execution, ito na po yung pagdi-deliver ng mga teacher kung paano nila execute o ituro sa yung mga lesson. So, since teacher-directed po ito, dito na mas mahasa yung mga teacher kung paano po sila mag-deliver ng mga learnings. And pangatlo ay ang discipline. Mas nadidisiplina ang mga bata dito kasi may fear and at the same time ramdam mo yung love dito sa teacher directed. So the other significant difference between education in the past and education today is technology. To begin with, education could not increase in the past because education was lacking in terms of technology. That is why education could not be stated or could not be shared with people who needs. And our number 4 is the evaluation and assessment. So, when we say evaluation, and assessment and evaluation are important tools for designing curriculum and instructional approaches as per need of students. Ito po yung nagsisilbing ruler para masukat yung mga natutunan ng mga bata. So, alam po natin ang pagkakaiba ng assessment and evaluation. When we say assessment, it is a diagnostic tool na nagpo-focus on the learning of individual students, at ang evaluation, it determines the extent to which a program or pedagogy achieves predetermined goals or outcomes. Ito po yung outcomes, and those are the benefits of teacher-directed, which are the expert knowledge, the planning, the execution, discipline, and the evaluation and assessment. Sinabi naman pong student-directed, or also called student-centered. It refers to an instructional strategy whereby students are empowered to make their own decisions about important aspects of their education. Dito, mas gumagalaw ang mga estudyante. Nakakapag-explore sila kung ano ang mga ito, at sila din mismo ang nakakasagot ng mga katanungan nila. So, these choices can range from setting their own learning goals to deciding how they will pursue such objectives. A teacher will serve as a facilitator habang ang estudyante ay nag-e-explore. A teacher here is a teacher who does not operate under the traditional concept of teaching, but rather is meant to guide and assist students in learning for themselves. So, mas palakihin po natin yung picture sa right side. So, education evolving believes that learning must be designed with students at the center. That is, learning must be personalized to students' unique assets, interests, identities, and aspiration, and designed with their ideas and voices at the table. So, naka-center po dito si learners, which is sila ang puso ng curriculum. Di po gaya ng dati na makikinig, uupo, uuwi lamang ang mga estudyante. Pero ngayon, sila na po yung mismong gumagalaw. So we assert that when these principles are fully realized, the result is learning that is not only equitable but also designed to meet the unique needs of all students. At ito po yung 7 principles na nakapalibot sa student-centered learning. So, the number 1 is positive relationship, yung nasa itaas po. So, kapag sinabing positive relationships po, students develop strong personal or relationship with other students and with adults who care about them, believe in their potential, and hold them to high expectations. Kaya napaka-importante na mag-build tayo ng positive learning environment na kung saan ang bullying, ang discrimination, pagbababa sa isang estudyante ay dapat na maiwasan kasi nagkakababa ito ng self-esteem at para makapagtayo tayo ng isang positibong relationship between the teachers and the leaders. Halimbawa dito ay yung mag-foster ka ng collaboration, pwede ka magpa-role play or group work. Then, foundational needs men. So, students are supported in meeting fundamental physical, psychological, and safety needs. Students get help navigating social services or may receive them directly in a community school environment. Kaya dapat holistic siya, means lahat ay hawak para sa ganoon po ay mas maganda yung relationship and response sa atin ng mga bata. That's why foundational needs of every student need to be met. Then positive identity, students are fully embraced for who they are in the context of their communities and cultures and feel that they belong. Kaya dapat mag-foster tayo ng positive identity para mas makatulong tayo sa paghubog sa sarili nila sa mga batang tuturuan natin someday. Then, student ownership and agency. Students take responsibility for their learning, exercising choice to pursue their interests and passions and agency to shape their school environment. Teachers serve increasingly as a facilitator and guides. Hayaan natin sila na mag-explore at lagi natin tandaan yung explore, yung experience, education, evaluation, and etc. that plays a fundamental role in the lives of every student. So people make choices from the moment they wake up until they go to sleep. The ability to make a choice is often taken for granted. Then real world relevant, dito mas masusubukan kung paano solusyonan yung mga problema o katanungan. Students solve problems that exist in the real world, learning skills and knowledge in a multidisciplinary context that they will use in their future lives and career. Dito, pwede ka magpagawa ng reflection or reaction paper or pwede ka magpakwento based on their experience. Then next is competency-based. Students advance by demonstrating mastery of clearly articulated learning objectives rather than by age, receiving extra support when they struggle and new challenges when they're ready to move on. Dapat nakaantabay tayo sa mga bata at iwasan natin yung spoon feeding kasi walang matututunan kung puro tayo spoon feeding at dapat isa ito sa dapat taglayin natin kasi dito nakapaloob ang KSA, which is the knowledge, skills, and attitudes or abilities. Then, the last is anytime, anywhere. So, students have flexibility in when and where they learn within the school as well as places outside of school and times beyond the typical school year and or days. This cartoon po has been making rounds on the internet recently. It is hilarious but also a powerful statement on the approach of the education system. It shows a variety of animals of different sizes, weights, and capabilities in a row. Merong unggoy, may isda, may elepante, may penguin, and many more na nagpapakita ng differences ng bawat isa. So, the education system may benefit from the model and find the strengths in their students by utilizing different assessment of intelligence and knowledge. Therefore, to relate it to our cartoon, beyond a climbing test, there may be a swimming test, an eating contest, a foot race, and etc. So, we are uniquely created. We are uniquely created. We have a differences. All we need to do is to do it with respect, with fairness, and of course, with love. According po to my favorite philosopher and polymath na si um, Albert Einstein, everyone is a genius. But if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid. Now, wala pong taong mangmang. Ang kailangan lang natin ay maging masipag, matyaga at magsumikap tayo. Huwag tayo mag-focus sa mga criticisms o mga hindi natin kaya o mga weaknesses natin. I-capitalize natin ito at mag-focus tayo at bigyan po natin ito ng pansin para mas maging lakas natin ito. So, selecting content that is teacher-directed and student-directed, which is nakapaloob po dito ang curriculum na kung saan curriculum is a standard-based sequence of planned experiences where students practice and achieve proficiency in content and applied learning skills. Ito yung nagsisilbing guide natin for all educators as to what is essential for teaching and learning so that every student has access to rigorous academic experiences at ito ay may mga elements. Nandito po ang aims and objectives, content, the teaching strategies, and evaluation. These are the criteria for selection of content. So, focus po tayo sa isang importanteng element ng curriculum, which is the content, at ito po yung pinaka-topic namin, which is the organizing instructional content. So, these are the following principles, which are the self-sufficiency, significance, validity, interest, utility, learnability, visibility, at iisa-isahin po natin yan. So, the first one is self-sufficiency. So, to help learners attain maximum self-sufficiency at the most economical manner is the main guiding principle for subject matter or content selection. Dito, mas pinapa-experience natin sa mga bata kung paano gawin ang isang bagay. So, in that experience po na naranasan ng isang bata, there is a learning upon that experience. So, experience is the best teacher. So, number 2 is the significance. So, the subject matter or content is significant if it is selected and organized for the development of learning skills, activities, processes, and attitudes. It also developed the 3 domains of learning, which are the cognitive, affective, and psychomotor, and consider the cultural aspects of the learner. So, particularly po, if your students come from different cultural backgrounds and races, the subject matter must be culture sensitive. In short, select a content or subject matter that can achieve the overall aim of the curriculum. Meaning po, dapat holistic siya para walang napag-iiwanan. The number 3 is the validity. So, it refers to the authenticity of the subject matter or content you selected. Make sure that the topics are not obsolete. Valid, meaning original siya. Hindi yung kinapi-copy mo kung saan-saan website kasi makakasuhan ka pa ng plagiarism or the Republic Act 10175. The number 4 is the interest. So, the criterion is to the learner-centered curriculum The students learn best if the subject matter is meaningful to them. It becomes meaningful if they are interested in it. But if the curriculum is subject-centered, teachers have no choice but to finish the pacing schedule religiously and teach only what is in the book. This may somehow explain why many fail in the subject. Upang sa ganoon ay mas enjoyable at full of learning yung delivery mo. So, number 5 is the utility. So, another criterion is the useful of the content or the subject matter. So, students think that a subject matter or some subjects are not important to them. They view it useless, so as a result, they don't study. Halimbawa po ay ang subject na Christian living o sa atin ngayon ay ang religious sociology. Kasi may subject po na sasabihin ng bata na ay, kung lang naman ng subject na yan, easy-easy lang. At makakapasa tayo. Pero once na narinig nila yung subject na sa tingin nila ay may use o silbi sa buhay, sa kanilang buhay, like religious sociology, that can help them to strengthen their relationship with our God, pasok na pasok po ito sa mga bata. Hindi po sila magsasawang makinig at mapapansin mo talaga yung saya sa mga mata nila. So, students only view or value the subject, matter, or content if it is useful to them. Number 6 is learnability. So, this subject matter or content must be within the schema of learnings. It should be within their experiences. And for number 7 is the validity. So, the visibility, I mean. So, it means that the subject matter can be fully implemented. Ibig sabihin, kapag gumawa ka ng lesson ay dapat matatapos sa time na ilalagay sa instructional content. It should consider the real situation of the school, the government, the society, and in general. The students must learn within the allowable time and the use of resources available. So, it would be better if students in a subject-centered curriculum be grouped homogeneously, otherwise many will flunk in that subject. Are the procedures for selection of content which is under po ito ng teacher, the teacher directed, mas nagpo-focus siya sa teacher as the center. So, the first one is the judgmental procedure. The second one is the experimental procedure. The third one is the analytical procedure. And the last one is the consensual procedure. And these are the aims for selecting content. So, to provide students with effective learning strategies. So, para sa ikagaganda at ikakagrowth ng mga bata, dito mas makikilala yung 6 na strategies gaya ng elaborative, interrogation, concrete examples, and etc. Second bullet is to assist students to identify their preferred ways of learning kasi lalo na po ang mga estudyante ay ang puso ng curriculum para sa ganoon ay mas maging smooth at positive ang learning environment. Then, to develop skill needed to negotiate the curriculum, mas madedevelop natin yung mga learning skills at mapapagana natin ang psychomotor learnings ng mga bata kasi ang collaboration ay isa sa center natin dito. Then, to encourage students to set their own objectives and develop the students' skills by self-evaluation. So, great teachers focus not on compliance but on connections and relationships.